Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me once again for another masterclass where I talk about Kefla. Today we're going to be talking about one of probably my favorite character. This character really excites me. I think she's really fun, and I think she's an incredibly strong character, maybe even on the underrated side, I would go as far as to say. But yeah, if you guys are interested in Kefla, so this is going to be a guide for, if you guys are interested in Kefla, this is hopefully going to be the definitive one where you guys can look at this and understand my personal style or my personal approach to Kefla, which I'm not going to be biased, or I'm not going to be unbiased. I'm going to be honest. I do think my Kefla, or the way I approach Kefla, is probably the best way to do it. Not the only way to do it, not the way you have to do it, but in my opinion, it is the best way. Brought Kefla to class. Jesus, did you boost the gamma on your game capture? No, I didn't, actually. How bad does it look? I'm curious. I didn't do anything to the game. And Torg, you don't have to be here. And to be fair, people voted for Kefla. Like, this was a community vote, dog. You don't get to pin this one on me. This is not my choice. This is, you have to live with the consequences. You could have voted. You could have swayed the vote. Why is it so bright? That is a great question, actually. Why is it so bright? Let me see if I go full screen. I did vote against Kefla. That's so weird. Fuck Kefla. Right, I forgot you played Viz, so like you're used to this. I wonder if it's screen capture. I'm very curious. What if I do this? What if instead of game, like, let's do game capture and let's see if that helps. Add source. The weird thing is that the preview on, yeah, so that looks much better. So it's probably the screen capture thing. Something got weird or screwy with the screen capture. So we're gonna do here. We're gonna bring it here. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of screen capture. We're gonna bring game capture here. Gonna bring it down to about right here. There we go. That should be fine for now. I think the aspect ratio is definitely off, so let's bring it here. Sorry guys, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but I can figure this out later. This is a quick fix. That might be okay. I'll have to figure that out later. Is this a start? Damn, Torg. That's kind of fucked up. All right. Oh. Anyway. Kefla. Kefla of Keflaberg. Very fun. You know, I'm gonna tell the Kefla folks that I'm actually doing this. Hang on. So, anyway, today we're gonna talk about Kefla. In my opinion, she's one of the most underrated characters, and I don't want to hear people slandering Kefla, especially if you play Gogeta Blue. You can shut the fuck up, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, I want to talk about Kefla, some strategies to use her, how to take full advantage of her toolkit in order to win matches. I'm going to go over her combo theory. I'm going to go over her neutral. I'm going to go over her pressure. I'm even going to go over some strategies and tips in Spark. I'm going to go over using her assists, and I'm going to go over team building, and I'll even cover a section for solo strategies, and I will accept questions about Kefla Near the end, I'll answer them if you ask them now and they're relevant. However, if you ask me what's a good team with her, you're gonna have to fucking wait. So, very, very important. Yay, Kefla. Saber didn't... I think Saber's tip came in earlier. So, if you're watching this, Saber, I think it came in a lot earlier, but it just came in on the stream. But thank you. I appreciate the donation, guys. I appreciate the love shown to the stream, but it's pretty cool. I already did this masterclass in 20 minutes. You'd be surprised. You've never fought my Kefla, Twerk. Alright. So, Kefla, probably one of my favorite characters. I do have a question. Press 1 in the chat if this is the character you know me for. Oh, dude. Man. Why do you guys have to... I'm not gonna cry today. Nah, you know what? You know what? How about some catharsis, chat? How about some catharsis? I do need a little bastard to test combos on, so I'm gonna pick GT Goku, but how about some catharsis? It's probably because you're the most vocal about her. No. Okay, so here's the thing, Torg. I'm gonna be completely honest because you're actually beginning to genuinely annoy me. So I'm gonna set this thing because I need you to understand where I'm coming from. Kefla is very, very similar to Bardock. And I don't necessarily mean that in TOOLKIT, but what I mean is she fundamentally teaches everything that you need to know about the game. And she grows with you. She has a very, very low skill floor and a very high skill ceiling. A great Kefla is something amazing to watch. So the reason why I use Kefla is because her examples are usually the best and are usually not unique to her. So she's a great character to talk about because she doesn't necessarily have a lot of the uniqueness that most of the other cast has, and she's a little bit more stable than a character like SSJ Vegeta. And I would say she's more stable than Bardock himself because she has more tools than he does. So I do think it's very important to talk about the game in the context of Kefla because I really do think this character can teach you a lot. And while it is a bit that you don't like Kefla or you think I talk a lot about Kefla, that's because there's a lot of educational value that I don't think you see, because then it would have been in your Kefla guide and I wouldn't have roasted it. He is a very stable character. In the meantime, guys, you know the drill. Even though this VOD is going to be uploaded to YouTube with timestamps and everything, where are we training? Cavern space. I love seeing Crash's emotes in my thing whenever she's not even here. I love the Princess Tutu stuff. Okay, so far I haven't gotten a duplicate. Okay, World Tournament. Ah, Saber, you couldn't be fucking quicker? I have to lab on this fucking ugly stage? Alright. So, first things first, what kind of character is Kefla? Kefla is a rushdown all-rounder. So she does favor getting in the opponent's face. She has a lot of tools that allow her to easily close the distance. She has a lot of stuff that can easily close the distance, obviously. She even has this, which can projectile invul through most things and still close the distance, but it's kind of useless, so I wouldn't try it. And of course, she has great mobility and great normals to control space. So she can actually come in and bully people with her massive jam. Now, Just because she's a rushdown doesn't mean that she's lacking in other areas. She's incredibly fast, and she has powerful Ki Blasts. She has a beam property projectile to jail and to vanish. She has a low hitting lariat, a command dash, a projectile invul move that can cause smash, and a whole host of other things. So, that's where this character kind of is a little bit interesting. She does have some stuff that makes her a little bit unique. The biggest one is she has... Her normals cover a pretty decent range for the most part. Her 2M is a little stubby. She does have probably the fastest 2M in the game. No. Labco 21 does now. But Kefla used to have the fastest 2M in the game. She has a 5M that reaches very far, which all the fusions do, I guess. Her 5H reaches rather far as well. Not as massive as other characters, but or some of the other fusions, but still pretty considerable distance. But her air normals are where she truly shines. She has a wonderful JL that is very, very strong. She has a double hitting JM that has 2 more active frames per hit than Bardock, and it has a lower hitbox, or I'm sorry, a lower hitbox, as well as extends further, especially because they buffed it for some reason. And it's rather wonderful. And her JH, as you can see, is massive. She has a disjointed hitbox covering the entire smear, which makes it very, very resistant to Super Dash. She is very difficult to Super Dash because she has a lot of normals that can really, really, really cover an opponent trying to Super Dash her in the air. Lab Coats is 8 frames, yeah. Yeah, it's music, like the music on this stage. I'm not a huge fan of it. It got annoying after a while, but yeah. So pretty fun. This character does have some big normals. She can bully people. There is a bit of a travel time on this, and of course, it is very, very minus on whiff. You need to keep that in mind. Her Ki Blast is also not exactly a standard Ki Blast. Most Ki Blasts are 27 frames full screen and 13 frames up close. Kefla has the fastest Ki Blast in the game, along with Teen Gohan and Frieza, and she and Frieza are the only ones that have 6 of them. She has 6 Ki Blasts that are very, very fast, and they're 11 frames up close, unlike Broly's. And, as you can see, the last hit pops up. So that's... Yeah, but Labcoat's 2M is actually very, very, very stubby. Like, the first hit doesn't reach anything. At all. It's wild. Kefla's reaches a little bit farther. So, that's some pretty interesting stuff. Now, let's talk about her frame data. Her frame data is important. Her 5L is -3, but the jab is rather large. It's deceptively large, actually. Like, she can pressure from a pretty far distance. Her 2L is a little bit on the stubbier side, but it is a low, and like other 2Ls, it's 7 frames and -4. Her 5M is unsafe on block, but it is 10 frames point blank, making it fairly average, which is odd considering the size of the normal. She does have a multi-hit 5LL. She has the Vegito Kicks 5LL, which comes out at frame 11, which is pretty nice. It also frame traps very nicely as well, as it has a very late cancel window from 5L. So she can... Oop. Hang on. There we go. So 16 frames, 17 frames seems to be her limit. Cell can usually get about 19 frames and vice versa. I think, actually... I think a good demonstration of this would probably be 18. There we go. No? I think Videl, maybe? Yeah, Videl has a much later cancel window. I think it's because Gogeta advances. There we go. Yeah, so he's a little bit later. Anyway. Now, her 5LL is safe on block. Her 5M is not. Her 2M is safe on block. 5S is also -5, which is unusual. It has 1 frame more recovery than most Ki Blasts. But it spaces out quite nicely, which we will talk about in her pressure and how that can help her. Her 5H is massive with a lot of pushback. it is -10. And she also has a unique normal that you guys know about, Bonk, also known as 6H. It is 27 frames, and no, this move does not need to get buffed. We will talk about why. Now, unlike 21, her 6H is a little bit unique. Unlike 21, she can actually true string from her 6H. So this is a complete true string. Oop, my bad. True string, which means that she can actually block string almost from her 6H, which is quite nice. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, Labcoat 21 cannot true string from her 6H, and her 6H is a little bit harder to react to, but this 6H is rather deceptive because it looks very similar to her 6M. It looks similar to this. It can get really, really tricky, and I'll show you how to set that move up properly later. But it is a very important normal. It also, we'll talk about 6H as well for combos, because it is a true medium, which means, or a true heavy, which means it does 850 damage base. It does scale pretty heavily, but that means that for certain combos, it hits like a truck. So if you need it to extend with an assist, you can already see it does a pretty considerable amount of damage. So you're gonna want to use this in combos a lot. We'll get into detail later. It is not safe on block, but it doesn't matter because you can frame trap from the heavy very, very, very well, which makes disrespecting it a bad idea. That's a very late frame trap. You can also really late frame traps, which can be very deadly because if you frame trap properly, you can go immediately into a low. Very, very handy tool. Not one necessarily to abuse, but definitely worth keeping in mind. Another normal that she has is JS. Her JS is one of the fastest JS's in the game, and she can cancel immediately after jumping. So she can actually, like, cancel it really early into the air dash and halt her momentum, which leads to some situations where if you space it out, I don't know if I can do it, she can actually turn around and still hit on the side she came from. It also is a very fast and very powerful cross-up. So it is impossible to 2H. She cannot convert off of it though. Solo. She will need an assist to convert or meter. But if they block it, it does lead to additional mix-ups that we will talk about later. So JS is definitely one of her most potent mix-ups. And what's really powerful about it is it can literally cross up, or it can stay same side. Like that. Making it incredibly difficult to block. Her JS is also a big part of her combo theory. And she only has 4. Unlike her grounded version, which has 6. So these are her normals. They are very powerful. This character is mostly going to be using her normals for neutral. But she does have a couple of interesting specials. Like I mentioned, she does have a beam property move that is fairly quick. It is fairly quick, and she does cover the GT angle. The coveted GT angle. So, hanging out and avoiding her, not exactly the smartest idea to do. Not exactly the smartest idea, because she can significantly punish you if you're not careful. Now, what's really cool about this is, even on whiff, she can cancel into super dash as of the latest patch, which is the difference between last patch and this patch. This is going to have a lot of implications for her neutral, but it's going to definitely have a lot of implications for her, it's going to have a lot of implications for her combo theory. But what's interesting about this is when paired with slow assists, yeah. Very difficult to 2H. Yes. It works on whiff. The EX version also has it on whiff. The EX version of this move is plus on block. It is very slow, but it is also green, making it a powerful DR crush. What's interesting about this is this also completely jails into Super Dash. Super Dash is a true string. So if you get hit with that, you're holding a true string 50-50. Is that also the case for A21? Yes. Yes, all of them, I think. So, that's pretty cool. Her other special is a low lariat. It does not reach very far. The light one cannot be converted on its own. You would need an assist to convert it. The medium version converts solo in the corner and does a pretty significant amount of damage. Before, it used to do 900. Now it does 1100, making it incredibly powerful as a starter, as it front loads her damage a little bit. 3.8k off of the confirm, which is pretty cool. And here's what's interesting about this. I'm pretty sure I can... $3.9k if you want to build less meter and go for damage, which is pretty interesting. It would not be hard to truly optimize that either. So this will convert in the corner, and it is a big part of her combo theory, and there is enough hit stun to dash right after. So look at the meter. So that's without the dash. You gain a little bit of extra meter if you dash, which is going to be very instrumental in her meter game. You have enough hit stun to do that at the beginning of every combo. So even off a very prorated starter, see? Doesn't matter. I can even do just like that if I want to. Very, very powerful. The EX version is probably one of the scariest lariats in the game. Now, like Beerus' 2M, this does not have a hitbox while traveling. It does not have a hitbox until she actually physically lands, but she does lightly track to the opponent. Well, not really, but the hitbox is massively destroyed. And I mean, come on. Massively destroyed it. It reaches very far. See? I have enough time to whiff punish that 5L. Which, at max distance, will allow you to take a true punish on most characters. Including Gogeta, because he's minus a billion. Does Destroy hit slow too? Everything about the move hits slow. For example, if I get him only to stand and not switch, everything hits low. No matter what. It also has a pretty considerable reach, as you can see, reaching just a little bit over half screen. Well, reaches just a little bit over half screen. With dash momentum, it covers full screen. The EX version is very scary because it has a fuck ton of hit stun for no reason, and it does a lot of damage. 1300, the most damaging version of the move. And, as you can see from the startup, it is completely unreactable, making it incredibly threatening in neutral. And because of the hit stun, she can convert with 6H, which means that she can really push the damage output here. That is with Ki Blasts. If I want to optimize that for damage with assists, it is actually scary how much damage you can get. You guys get the point. So, as you can see, this is rather broken and a very crucial part of her toolkit, so don't forget that you have it. The last thing we're going to talk about is her supers. She does have very unique supers that all serve a particular function. So we're gonna go ahead and give her 3 bars. So, first super is going to be Razor. So Razone is like a Hellzone type move. It is mainly used for Oki. Let's see. It's mainly used for Oki. If they respect, it guarantees a mix-up. On hit, you can still convert. There is enough hit stun for you to convert, but it doesn't have as much hit stun as it should, making it rather difficult to hit. So if I have it set to guard all, leads to a mix-up. An unseeable mix-up. As of the most recent patch, or the last couple of patches, they did get rid of Razone, where now, when reflected... That might just hit, yeah, I thought so. We're gonna delay that a little bit. Or you know what, I'll just have him do it on Wake Up, it's fine. Look at those squats! You can still get a mix-up, and they have to guess whether or not you're gonna reflect. Now, they could actually see the mix-up, but who cares? Because you can just do this. You still have a lot of options here. However, it does cost a bar and does hurt your development, so try not to abuse this too much with Kefla. Okay? Speaking of, there's one last special I haven't mentioned, and there's kind of a reason for that. It's because it's genuinely bad. There is this. This is primarily a combo tool. It is projectile invul, or rather, it's projectile guard point. So your opponent, they can cancel into super if you guard point through one of their projectiles. Not exactly the best thing in the world. However, it does have some uses. The biggest use is that any hit anywhere on the screen converts to sliding knockdown. This is her primary sliding knockdown, and as you can see, it has excellent frame advantage for knockdowns. It also provides an extra smash, so if you have certain combo routes like this, where they connect to the ground, you can actually double super. Just like Yamcha. That is pretty cool. That is a great way if you have an assist, or if you have the ability to combo from this, or from any smash. You actually do have a lot of capability here to effectively use Razone and extend your combo. A very popular one when she first came out was stuff like this. As you can see, you can combo off any smash hit. And sometimes, if you get high enough, which I'm pretty sure I can, you can actually continue the combo back on the ground. There you go. Yeah. It's a bit hard to get that. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky to get the height. But it doesn't matter because you shouldn't be doing it. Gotta max delay everything. Max delays are easy. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, almost. Let's see. Now I'm curious. Almost. The only sauce she has. It's actually not true. But, point is, very, very interesting character. And honestly, seriously, Torg, I'm trying to teach a class. If you're going to be negative, dude, I will actually just mute you for the rest of the stream. I don't mind. I'm trying to have a educational vibe here. So, her supers genuinely have some interesting stuff to play with. And it is a big part of her TODs. Now, she has another super. This is her DHC. This tracks anywhere on the screen. It is only really done in the air. It's only really done in the air, and it provides a lot of very unique DHC opportunities. For example, if you're playing a setup character like Beerus and whatnot, or like Adult Gohan, they can actually, if she's high enough, they can actually get sliding knockdown here because they can whiff their super. She gets high enough, and then they can either get JDR or they can ground DR. It's a very versatile super. And for characters like Videl actually struggles to convert mid-screen. So getting touches like this are very important because it lets Videl combo from anywhere she wants, anywhere on the screen. This is very important for some synergies because, as you can see, Videl is one of the few supers that genuinely has corner carry. So if I combine that with Kefla, she will actually carry them all the way to the corner, even with the most basic of confirms. Where she gets her mix. This is very, very important. It's very similar to assists like supers like 18s, like you mentioned. And the way it hits them is very, very important. However, it is not her most damaging super. The most damaging super she has is her green orbs. These. There are two versions of it, a ground version and an air version. The ground version does significantly more damage. So when would you use the air version? You want to use the air version to optimize touches like off of the DR here. Because off of DR, you can do this. Which is pretty considerable. And if you have a tracking super, so something like, for example, Baby or Blue Goku, they will automatically teleport to the air and they will actually catch and send them knocking down. That is really, really, really cool for Kefla. I really like that. However, if you do a very long combo like any one of her BMBs, the outcome would be something like this, which does a pretty considerable amount of damage as well. Each version does more damage. So I'm going to do the complete combo off of DR to show you the damage difference. So the ground version does 404. Notice how that did significantly less damage. It's not that it's inconsistent. It's that the ground version always does more damage. The grounded version, the minimum damage is 864, which for those of you that don't know damage values, which is why I'm avoiding talking about it, it's roughly equivalent to Vegeto's sword super. It does a lot of damage. The air version does 1834, which is 30 less, and that is maybe 20 points or so, maybe a little less than 20, I'm bad at math, than 18's level 1. It's on the higher than average end, but not crazy. 864 is considered a high damage super, in my opinion. Anything 850 and above is considered high damage. So she does have a very high damage super on the ground, which is perfect for DHCs, and it can make optimizing confirms like here, like if I want to build maximum amounts of bar. This, even, we'll do 17, 18 super off of a DR, even though it's 4 bars, this is a considerable amount of damage with a mix attached to it. So, Kefla, she does a fuck ton of damage. That's very, very, very cool. Mid-screen, she cannot do Key Blast into 236S. However, you can do this, which is more meter. So you can confirm from, as you can see, that's less meter. This is more meter. See? Good way to optimize if you need to get an extra bar in order to kill. So these are pretty interesting, unique properties on her supers, and these supers make her incredibly versatile with her DHCs, because Oh, my bad. I forgot. I used the smash. I use the smash again. So. You could do something like that and basically do another level 1. And then from there, because her level 1 hits very high, Kefla will track and send them back down, which is very, very important. Pretty fun, and it makes her synergies rather interesting. And the flexible damage values, because the tracking super does about, if I'm not mistaken, like 764 or 750, around that range. I don't remember the exact value. It doesn't have a very high minimum damage. But what you don't get is utility. So the minimum damage and the utility that it leads does help you out quite a bit, especially because of certain tracking properties. Oh yeah, I forgot. The air version of the orbs tracks to the heights of the opponent. So if I do this, this is actually how she'll do confirms into Genki. So even if you send them upwards, she will always hit you from any height, which is pretty cool. I wish that was her DHC, to be honest. I think she would be a lot better, but it's a different conversation. So that's pretty much her toolkit. First thing we're going to talk about and how to deal with it and how to use it is going to be her combo theory. So Kefla is known for having no sauce. I personally disagree, but I don't necessarily need a character to be very interesting on hit to play, because this character is incredibly versatile, does everything that I want her to do, and she's incredibly functional in literally every other regard. However, I will demonstrate some interesting stuff that she does have. So the biggest thing, I could show you guys my BMBs, and I'll show you guys how to do them at the end of the section. However, I'm going to talk to you about different rules so that way you can explore and build your own combos. So first rule is that this always connects. So you can use this to squeeze extra damage from pretty much any touch. So the old value, like if I do this, well, it's about 2k, pretty weak confirm. And then, I didn't mean to do the JS, but you get a little bit of extra damage there. It's a pretty big boost in her damage calculation, which is pretty good. Excellent. It's fantastic. It also helps in her corner combos because you can do it from 5H. So you can do really, really, really interesting confirms when you decide to super dash or super dash, or in some cases, like if you want to super dash and then bring them back down to the ground. It's a very good way to tack on extra damage. Yep. So this is a pretty cool part of her combo theory, which I like a lot. Forgot to mention something, by the way. Her auto combo. Her auto combo anti-airs. She also has a new ability which affects her combos in some cases. I'll demonstrate some assists that would help with that. But she can now cancel her 5LL faster on whiff. So you can no longer punish her auto combo as easily, as you can see. Though, this character is very dangerous to approach now. That's going to be more relevant in the neutral section. I personally don't do it too often, but pretty interesting to know. So, there is some combo theory with her auto combo, because some assists will pop them up very high, like Beerus or Vegito, and she will have enough hit stun to whiff her auto combo entirely and still get the smash hit from the 5 LLL, which tacks on an enormous amount of damage. That's something that you can do if you play an assist with a lot of hit stun and a lot of pop-up with her. That's something that I know for a fact Beerus can do, and I'll demonstrate that later. I don't know if Vegito can do it, and I don't necessarily care enough to lab it. But these are extra ways that you can squeeze out a little bit of damage. Now, the big premier part of Kefla, the big reason to play her, is she has some of the best meter gain, net meter gain, in the game. So from a 5L, my bad, didn't mean to. Why can I never do it when I want to demonstrate? Tricky. You have to kind of buffer it, that's why. And it's been a while. I'm a bit rusty with Kefla. Shit. It's embarrassing. This combo is easier than it seems. There's just a timing to it. Once you get the trick, it's brain dead. But I'm missing the buffer timing. I'm pressing it a little bit too early. Nope, too early again. Fuck. They're better than they look. Oh, you get used to it after a while. There we go. There we go. I messed up in the last part because I cut it too short, but there you go. My execution has been very bad, guys. Full disclosure, my hands just don't want to work in the last 2 weeks. I'm not sure what it is. I'm sure it'll come back eventually, but if my combos are rusty, please excuse me. Please excuse me. My execution has been negligently bad. There we go. That is almost 2.5 bars from 5L. That is an enormous amount of meter gain. She is extremely good at developing characters, and that's from a 5L. She can actually get to 2.5 from JH with that route, and she's able to get 2 bars pretty much with any damage, because if I want to do damage, I can do this. Almost 2 bars from 5L. That's 2L. Oops, didn't get the dash. Boom, 2 bars from 2L. And 3.8k, not bad for a 2L confirm. That is pretty monstrous, to be completely honest. The meter gain comes from, as you can see, her 6S, or her 5S, sorry. Very, very, very powerful. You want to introduce that wherever possible on any confirm in order to build a maximum amount of meter. If you want to go for damage, don't bother. So without her crazy meter gain, as you can see, she still gets a pretty crazy amount of damage, but it's actually not that much, or not crazy, but it's not that much more than the it's not like that much more than this one. And the reason why is because she front loads her damage. It's actually about the same. You might as well just go for that route, to be honest. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be building 2 bars with Kefla. I think the worst thing is seeing Kefla players do this, which convinces people she has low damage, when it's much better to just do... And the execution's really not that much tighter. There is a trick to this. So there is a trick, because a lot of people struggle with this. Right here. A lot of people struggle with this, especially online, but even offline, I've seen players like Kasuga omit it completely. I've seen Kaiden not go for it. There is a trick, and it's very, very, very interesting that a lot of people don't know about. If you're doing a very, very tight combo, it's going to drop because there's just not enough hit stun. So if you're doing like a tight combo with assists, you can always just do this. But if you're doing one of her BMBs, or solo BMBs, even off of JH, what you want to do is buffer on the 3rd hit, and then tap it the moment. You want to hold S. What I do is I hold S the whole way through, and I count the hits. 1, 2, and then when I see 3, I input the quarter circle, wait for 4, and then I tap S again. And that's what I do to get it consistent. You guys have seen me play Star. I have landed that against Star after a really long combo in 6 frames of lag. There's no reason you can't do this. I mean, it is a little bit tight, but once you get the hang of it, it's very, very easy to remember. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my command history, so that way you guys can see when I input my stuff. So I'm gonna do the full combo. I'm gonna do a fully paraded combo just for fairness. See? That's the timing. And notice how the S's are blacked out? That's because I was holding S. Yes, I do want a JS buff. I'm not gonna lie. I absolutely want a JS buff because that would make that a lot more consistent, but it is currently doable, so there's no reason why you guys should be dropping these combos. On that note, a little bit of Kefla counterplay. If you see a Kefla player with this, like this, down tech super dash. She cannot recover, or she doesn't recover in the air until she's very low to the ground, as you can see. And she does it from about here. Just super dash her. There's literally nothing she can do. Just super dash her. She's gonna get hit. And you can get a free confirm, put her back in the corner. Don't let Keflas get away with this. Very, very important. However, be careful because she can call an assist if she's smart and you know they're used to it. So that is basically her combo theory, more or less. You want to add this wherever possible. The source of her ki blasts, or the source of her meter gain is her ki blasts. So you will be sacrificing damage. However, if you want to build mad meter for a character that's very meter hungry, especially if you play a character like, for example, like 18, and I only have 1 bar and I want to go into her level 3, that is a great way to do it. You can just do that, and what's really cool is that it's self-sufficient, and you don't have to worry about it. The next part is how she uses her smash. So, mid-screen, her combos are lackluster. Your number 1 goal, mid-screen, because this is another mistake I see Kefla players do, don't do this. Just don't do this. Just don't do this. You're too far from the opponent. You don't do anything. What you can do, even, you don't need the Saiyan B&B to do that. You get far more corner carry and a lot more flexibility here because you can obviously rejump. Oof. You can obviously rejump. Or, if you have an assist, why do I keep mistiming that assist? Wow. I hate you, Vidal. I'm dumb. I don't know how to combo with assist. You can get a little bit of extra meter gain and a little bit of extra corner carry with the assist. And if you build a half bar and you want to spend it, you do have some opportunities to do that. Because if you spend an EX move, she can go corner to corner. And she can link another 236M to boost the damage, which is absurd. Full corner to corner, 3.8k from 5L, full screen. That is a lot of corner carry. And she builds so much bar that it really doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. The biggest confirm she can get that is not a medium scaling starter is going to be from this lariat in the corner. She can actually bypass meter penalty. Because the combo's long enough, and you get 4k off of it. It is wild how much damage she gets from this if you're anywhere near the corner. And she can push that, which is the crazy thing. Because of the next part of her combo theory. 6H... Is there much of a reason to do her JML rejump? Yes, if you can do it, it's worth it. I used to be able to do it, but I don't know if my execution right now... Oh, almost. So the key to her rejump is you need to max delay the super dash. Otherwise, it's going to drop. So that was almost it. See, I'm getting close because I have to delay the super dash a little bit more. It's very tricky to time, which is why I don't do it, but I have pulled it off in lag before. So definitely worth practicing, but it is harder than most other characters. And honestly, it's not really worth your trouble. Just spend the half bar. Like, spend the half bar. It's a lot more consistent. Requires less effort and practice, as you can see. That was actually the correct height, but I buffered it incorrectly. Is the JH reach up worth? No, it's not. It's pretty obsolete because you have this now. And it makes the combos far less consistent. And it doesn't build as much meter as for meter gain roots. There's no reason to do a JH fight all link, in my opinion. LM is more consistent in my experience, is it? I don't know. What do you mean? What do you... No. No, just do it. I do not believe you. I really want to get this combo because it's been a while. It's one of those combos that's like riding a bike. I don't do it often. And you forget the timing, and then when you get it, you get the timing and you do it in lag. It's a really weird combo. I spent a lot of time practicing it. I don't recommend it, to be honest. It's really not. It does do good corner carry, but don't bother. Make your life easy. There we go. Full corner carry, meterless. It is worth doing if you want to preserve meter and develop your characters, but the reason why I don't need it is because she builds so much meter in the corner anyway that any touch on the second touch, not only is it going to two-touch, but you're just going to build so much meter that who cares if you spent the half bar earlier. Maybe hold the super jump macro? No. I mean, you could do that, but the issue is not the rejump timing. The issue is the delay on the super dash. So a little trick that I like to do is I like to play a rhythm game where I will delay the 5H about as much as I think I need to delay the super dash. And that usually works for me. So that's how I practice it. You guys can make of that of what you will, but 6H is definitely worth it. Point is, mid-screen, do not do the same BNB. Your number one goal is corner carry. Always go for the corner carry. She does so much damage and she's such a big threat in the corner that it's not worth playing around mid-screen. The moment you get the hit, take him to the corner. That's the number one goal. Doesn't matter how much damage you do, because remember, you're going to do a lot of damage once you get to that corner. You have a high damage super to tack on whatever combos you're doing. So you're pretty much guaranteed a two-touch. And even if you don't need the supers and whatnot, you're going to build a lot of meter where you're going to probably be able to kill afterwards. Yeah. So, pretty nice, pretty nice, pretty nice. But the biggest confirm, or the biggest part of her combo theory, is 6H. If she has enough hits done, 6H is a very powerful confirm. We can start really pushing this. Now, remember, Ki Blasts, big part of her combo theory. Every confirm into Ki Blasts. And you will build mad meter as a result. Every time. For no reason. Almost 2 bars off 6H. That's wild. And you can push that. You can actually push that. Now, a couple of rules. If you have a high prorated starter, like that, like 6H, but JM. But you can really push that. You guys see that damage? 3.8k with an assist and 2 bars. That is really not bad. And that is a very simple combo to do. Very simple optimization. And you can push this. You can really, really, really push this. Don't know if I can quite get that third hit. It is a little bit tight, but it would be nice if I can get that 4 hits of JS. Is it still worth doing ugly 5H 214M combos with assist still? Yes. Very worth. And the reason why you want to do stuff like that is because 6H is a big heavy. Her TODs are going to come from her 6H mainly, and looping her 6H as many times as you can get. So doing stuff like this... Oops. As you can see, we're already at 4k. That is a lot of damage. If I do it off 6H... Oops. Wow, it's some decay. Fun. Kind of interesting. But yeah. You do want to, whenever possible, you want a 6H. For TODs, just loop 6H as many times as you can. It does a fuck ton of damage. Very simple. Very simple. 6k already, and I'm barely halfway done with the combo. Like, this combo will absolutely kill. But yeah, very, very simple. If you do extend with assists, Kefla doesn't need assists for her combos. She's pretty self-sufficient. But if you want to optimize, there's 2 ways you're going to do it. You're either going to use it for corner carry and use it for damage to extend with 6H, or if it's a super that remains grounded or holds them long enough for grounded like this, you're going to extend with this in order to double super. And so on. Those are the 2 main uses your assists are going to have. So if you're going to use them for, like, this opens up, in my opinion, it opens up her team building, because you don't have to worry about her combos or her damage. She's always going to do enough damage for you. And if you need to squeeze out an extra bit, just use her supers. Once you remember her supers, and once you pair her with really, really good assists, you can either start pushing them, or you can use a rejump to add in a 6H to get yourself your extra damage. Whole bunch of stuff that you can do. Now, the number 1 thing I want to see is optimal usage of the Ki Blasts. Every confirm can be optimized. Every confirm can be optimized. Bit too slow. Two bars off of 6M. With the assist to convert. That's all you have to do. Very, 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 very potent stuff. Very important. If you get a JS confirm, ideally run an assist that lets you convert like that. Because 6H does a lot of damage and is much better than converting like this. Well, maybe not. More meter, less damage. Way less damage. So, 6H wherever possible. That is the most optimal way to confirm with her. And very, very, very important. Very, very, very important. There is no reason why, if you're in the corner, you can't build 2 bars with Kefla. Or at least 1.75. If you build less than that, there's something wrong and you need to revamp your combos. It's very, very important. Even her meter gain routes like off of 2L. Ooh, messed up. There's no reason you can't build 2 bars, even on a 50-50. This is very easy to do. This is very easy to do. Yo, thank you for the gift sub. Yeah, that's another big thing. Her 5M is neat, but look at the damage. 666, which is very funny because it's very, very, very cursed. It still scales like a medium, but it uses multiple ticks on the combo scaling. That is very, very important. It eats a lot of combo timer, and it basically counts. I think it still counts as like 1 hit, but every subsequent move scales horribly. You can use 5M for max meter build routes, but it will make the combo extremely tight. See? It's very tight now. Like, that's doable. This is how you can do... It's very tight, as you can see. And not as good as doing this, honestly. Key Blast meter gain? 5M meter gain. Just do this. Almost. 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 2.5. And I do have a 2.5 version, but it's really hard. I'm not gonna lie. So, those are basically how to use her. This is how to build combos with Kefla. Now, I promise at the end, I would show you my B&Bs. You guys have kind of already seen them, but basically my B&Bs with the inputs on. I'm going to demonstrate them on GT Goku, so that way if you guys want to clip this and post them, you can. I'm going to leave the meter gain on. I always test from 5L. Which would you guys prefer? Would you guys prefer 5L or JH combos? I personally like 5L and 2L because they're more realistic starters, but I can do JH if you guys want. She doesn't really confirm off JM. But you can do that as well. But it's the same thing as JH. Do them while facing left. Okay. Okay. I mean, it's gonna... I hope you guys don't mind the shit in the way if I do it facing left, so... Oops. Okay. Oh, wait. I remember what I did. There we go. 2.5! Yay! So those are basically the B&Bs that I do in the corner. My 6M confirms. I'm going to do them, doesn't matter with Kefla or 18. As long as it doesn't pop too high, you should be able to always get 6H, but... Let me restart the meter game, my bad. Boom. Here are some meme combos if you play Videl. Oops. Imagine almost building 2 bars for mashing out of the corner, by the way. Might start playing Kefla. Good. You should. But yeah, so you can do mean combos like that where you could side switch. It's pretty fun. Mid-screen. There's a rejump. Do that. Mid-screen. You can also use assists. Do not 6H with these assists. Because if you do, that happens. Don't do that. Boom. Corner carry. If you want to use meter. I wanted to be a meme. Anyway, but... do this. Thank you so much for the gift sub. I really appreciate it, Clout. Okay. And then, let's see, what else do we got? Let's see. As you can see, an example of how to extend with assist as well. You have that in there. If you do stuff like this, don't forget, you can, I don't know the timing for that. I don't normally end combos this way. I always take the SKD. But if you want a double super, don't forget that you can do this as well. Very, very important. Oh, no, I didn't have a bar. But yeah, that'll connect. Very, very important. Let's see. Yeah, she has a side switch. Which just requires a slight delay to the super dash. That's all you have to do. I have never used this combo, by the way, in a real match. Because I never needed to. It's kind of useless. Because, like, why would you when you could just take them to the corner? Like, if you're in the corner, just put them in the other corner. But if you guys want a side switch, a very easy side switch, there you go. Let's see. 6H confirms is probably going to be very important. So the 6H confirm I go for is this. Very important with 6H to front load your damage. Doesn't build as much meter. You can also do... If you're very careful, you can do... See if I can do this. It's very tricky and requires a very specific delay. There you go. I have half a bar. Let's see how much this does. Super dash, smash J2H, jump cancel. Yeah, just jump forward. Just delay jump forward. Oh, can she combo after J8 smash like you like? Oh, without SK, without super dash, I mean. Yeah. She can if she's high enough. She can get zoom zoom, but there's no point. And it's very hard to get that height anyway. Let's see. Yeah, that builds quite a bit of meter, actually. That is a lot of meter for a 6H confirm. If you want to push your meter gain with 6H, you can do that. It is very tricky though, as you can see. For damage, I'll just do this. But it doesn't really do that much less damage than... Not that, I'm sorry. Doesn't really do that much less damage than that, so... And that one builds more meter, so just do that. Just do that. Always add the Ki Blast where you can. Attacks on extra damage, especially because 6H is such a scaled starter. So that's what you could do 6H. Mid-screen, you do have access to her 5H roots. So do this as your optimal 6H confirm. Mid-screen, because like I said, number one goal, corner. You can also do this. Either or works. I personally prefer this because it's more fun. So make sure to do that. But there you go. That's pretty cool. But those are my B&Bs with her. Her TODs are very simple. You don't really need a lot. They can be done from 0 bar with the right team. I actually completely forgot how to TOD with this team, but I can demonstrate some TODs with other teams later. I will demonstrate that Beerus combo that I mentioned with Beerus A. We're gonna demonstrate that hit stun. I'm sorry, Torg, today's the day. I want to see some toaster bath emotes in the chat. By the way, I love seeing people post toaster bath stuff with no context. Sorry, Torg. But if you guys want to see how stupid Beerus' hit stun is... Oh, wait. That's Beerus speed. Fuck that. You can nerf that assist. You can take it with you. Just get the fuck out of here, actually. I don't want to see it in my face. Yeah. That's a lot of hit stun. That is a lot of fucking hit stun. But there you go. If you guys wanted to see what I meant when I said you could whiff the whole auto combo. So, there you go. Some neat little stuff that you can do that I like to do, guys. And I hope that helps. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and move on now to her neutral. I don't think you guys need my command history for this. So, her neutral. Her neutral is going to rely heavily on universal movements. If you are good at movement, you are good at playing Kefla. In the air, she does not have an air special. However, even when I play other characters, I really don't think of my air specials that much. I just think of my tools like this, you know? The Bell combos are fun, I'm sorry. But yeah, like with Beerus, for example, like... The air specials that he does, you know, they control screen. Like, they all have a specific application. She doesn't really have anything like that. She can do this in the air, which does protect her from, like, UI Gokus that want to... Or, I'm not UI Gokus, I'm sorry. Base Kus and Gojitas that like to beam when they jump. Just do this, and you'll completely ruin their entire career. Now, as you can see, her JM is absolutely fucking massive. So when you jump through the air, you want to basically use this as an air-to-air confirm. But to be honest, Kefla prefers to remain grounded at all times, and you only really want to be in the air to maneuver yourself. You're not going to be chasing air-to-airs too much. However, she has a very powerful JL for Rising Super Jump JL if an opponent's like really close to you. So for example, if Gogeta does this, for example, if he does that, very, very good for catching him out of the air. and putting him in a world of hurt. So you can do that. This controls a lot of distance. For example, if he just super dashes at you for no reason. Oops. It's very, very easy on reaction. I'm reacting too soon. To just stop the super dash, which is very funny. It's very, very potent. Hard to confirm though, I won't lie. But it is a good way to get them off of you. You can even stop it preemptively, which is very funny. But, like I said, hard to confirm. So, JL is better. JH will protect you. But it is a bit slow. Ooh, too close. Too close. Fuck. How does Kaiden do this? Kaiden! I hate you, Kaiden. Why'd you lie to me? Kaiden, you lied to me. Just JM. JM is better. JM is better. Never mind. JM's trash. Kaiden! Kaiden! There you go. Should not be that difficult. So, very, very important. You can do stuff like that to navigate her neutral. On the ground, she's a menace. She has multiple ways to control the ground. She has multiple ways to bring you back to the ground. And like we mentioned, this goes into Super Dash, so you can pair that with an assist. If you're very, 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 very careful and you know your opponent's not going to 2H, you can abuse the respect and just do stuff like this. Or as I like to do it. That's just mean. Because then you get stuff like that and they can't reflect. I love this character. I love this shell. So you can do stuff like that. Pretty fun, right? This has no use in neutral. I've seen people do this. Don't do this. This better be a misinput, okay? But you do sometimes have access to your EX moves. Your EX moves are perfect for sniping landings. Or if an opponent is doing this a lot and they're backdashing, because you know they're going to want a 2M, so stuff like that. Also, pro tip, if you're fighting Kefla, dash block low. Dash block low. Because a lot of people do this against Kefla. Don't do this. Because she's just gonna do that. But be careful throwing it out, because if your opponent does something and they're already active, she's gonna lose. She does not travel with a hitbox. So definitely keep that in mind. If they are crackheads and they do that, right? She can whiff punish, but she'll lose if they do it at the same time. So, be very, very, very careful throwing that out, but be accurate. If you are accurate with this thing, this is the scariest thing. Like, it is the closest Dragon Ball FighterZ gets to a horror game, because this is a jump scare. Every time I hear an EX flash and I just see my character violently bounce off the wall, I'm just like, ah, right. So definitely keep your eye out for that. And definitely, you know, very, very powerful tool. But yeah, she's mostly going to rely on universal movement. The beautiful thing about Kefla, we've talked a little bit about positional advantage before. If you're new here because of the Kefla stuff, positional advantage basically means you have the most options in a given situation based on the amount of resources that you have and the physical positioning of you and your opponent. So for example, if I jump forward, as you can see, I'm -1, Gogeta has a positional advantage. Very simple. Gogeta also has more meter, and hypothetically, let's say I don't have assist and he does, he has the advantage because he has more options than I do. Thank you, Psychopath Toad, for the follow. I appreciate it. Point being is that Kefla is very good at what we call here playing white and playing black. So what that means is, if she wants to be aggressive, she can be very aggressive because she has very powerful forward advancing moves that space out considerably well. She has a lot of space control, so she can just jump forward and JM for no reason, and you'll probably hit something. She has very far-reaching normals. She has ways of stopping the opponent and then aggressing herself. She has a lot of ways to get in, and she's a very good quintessential point. But what makes Kefla unique is she's also pretty good at playing black. She has a fantastic 2H, and her 2H confirms basically TOD for at least one bar anywhere on the screen with just one assist, so that's pretty good. She can close the distance here with this if she wants to. I don't recommend this for neutral, so please do not 214S in neutral. 214S is death, guys. Even with a barrier, it is incredibly risky. So be very careful throwing this out for no reason. I have literally seen this lose because the opponent decided to super dash. Because they decided to do this, and the super dash turned around and hit them. Do not be this person. Do not zoom zoom, okay? No zoom zoom. I love zoom zoom. I get it. I understand. I play Kefla. Do not zoom zoom in neutral. It is very bad, especially if you don't have a fast assist. However, we'll talk about zoom zoom's applications later. However, as you can see, Ki blasts, very potent, great keep out game. Very hard to approach because she can just snipe you with this if you're not careful. And if you approach her, like if if Gogeta's like, hey, I'm gonna come near you, okay? You can call an assist, jail. Wow, he goes too fast. But it also halts her momentum. Buff 214S. No. Do not do that. Anyway. JS, kind of booty, but very useful in a pinch. Especially if you're a Gogeta who likes to 2H because you like to 50-50 because you think you're being cute. This is a very good way to stop a Gogeta from doing that shit. Like, oh, they dropped the combo and then they're going to 2H you? Nah, fuck you. Eat this, and then eat this mix. Eat that. Anyway, point being, pretty cool. So these are the things that you're going to want to do in neutral. Use JM a lot when traversing through the air, especially if your opponent likes to try to air you. It is basically like a barrier in the air. It is incredibly strong, but be careful. You don't want to whiff anything in this game, as it does cost you the positional advantage. You build meter naturally by moving, so don't be afraid to throw out an EX move if you see an opening. But yeah, once you do this, you can get in. Use your assists liberally. She does like assists to help her move forward. She doesn't need them, but she does like them. And if you have a life lead and you're playing Kefla mid or anchor, or she's solo, or she doesn't have an assist up, you can actually use this to snipe landings. Pretty easy stuff, right? Pretty easy stuff, right? So that's very important. This is how I use Kefla in neutral. You want to use her Ki Blast and Lariat's very safe. And of course, if you see the opportunity, this does jail into vanish if you need to, so you can get some unique stuff like let's see. Did you mention what role she fills? It's gonna be at the end. So you do have some stuff here. This does jail into vanish completely, so jails, pretty cool. That's going to be useful in Spark later. And this whiffs against crouchers, but the super dash doesn't. So if you want to get really cheeky, you can do stuff like that. But, that's whatever. But that is pretty much how Kefla is going to move in neutral. Obviously, your mileage may vary. It really depends on how you want to use your tools and your personal assist or your team compositions. It's going to depend heavily on how you move. So your mileage may vary, but these are basic strategies that I use with her. So that's going to be pretty important. Oh man, I forgot to write down the timestamp for that. We'll figure it out. It's fine. I'll make Star watch the whole video, right? So now we're going to start pressure. Pressure is where this character honestly excels at the most. Her pressure is very powerful. Now, I'm going to explain some baby mode steps. I'm going to explain some baby steps on what makes her very nasty, so that way we can make some understandings. Did you drink caffeine, or does talking about Kefla just make you happy? I try to have a very positive attitude if one of my videos is going to get uploaded to YouTube, and I'm timestamping it, so that's why. But I did have coffee. Thank you for asking. So, let's see what makes her so special. First of all, this character is impossible to guard cancel. You cannot guard cancel this character. If you do, at any point, you will die. Why is it so early? Why does it always do it like... It's always on 5L even though I put it on random. That's actually incredibly annoying. Like, it's always on 5L, which is weird. Yeah, even if you guard cancel her multi-hit normals, guys, she can always cancel. As long as one of them hit you. You die. Do not guard cancel Kefla. Ever. And it doesn't matter where you are on the screen. Don't do it. She will put you into the nearest corner, and you will fucking die. Oops, I sparked too late. There you go. You should see him talk about baby. Lol. Do you like baby Torg? I don't know. I never. So I don't know why it does it on the earliest possible frame every time, despite being on random. But thanks. So here you go. Pretty interesting. First things first, you do not want to guard cancel this character when defending against her. Keep that in mind, because you always want to be ready to 2H anything when you're pressuring with Kefla. Now, Kefla does not have a traditional mix-up style. She's not like Gogeta, where she does Rekka and then always 50-50s you. She can actually pressure. And she has some of the nastiest pressure in the game, starting with her normals, the best one being 5L. This is a very powerful character. 5L can also be cancelled for heightened, like you could start playing with her rhythm. So I'm going to start from the beginning. So her basic block string is going to look like this. If you don't want to do that, you can do that. But that doesn't, I don't believe that's your strings. This is her block string. The reason why this is important to know is because this is how you're going to route your pressure. 2L, 5L, 5M, 2M, 5H, 214L or 214H or whatever you want to do. This is very important. Once you know where you can go, you can always come back to it. So if I do something like I know I can go to 5M here because I haven't used it yet. If I do... We can do that, and you can delay. Very, very powerful. All of her normals, except her 5M, are safe on block, except her heavies, obviously. Her heavies and her 5M are not, but her 5M is basically plus, because it has a dumb, what we call a cancel window. So if I do this, 13 frames... I can't delay it much more than 16. See? But if I do it from 5M, oops, I can do it at 20. That 4 frames, that gap, you can feel it. And it's very, very, very nasty and very oppressive because it has a very similar timing to this. Feel the similarities there? That's very, very important. This is very, 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 very important. As far as anti-reflect, she can do 2L, 5L, and 5M to come back in. But generally, you don't want to reflect this character because if you're not careful and you reflect and she cancels into this on reaction to the reflect, you're getting sent flying, especially if you're in the corner. So reflecting her is ill-advised. So this character relies on stagger pressure, especially the stagger pressure that we do here in WTG, which I'm demonstrating right now. Very, very powerful stuff. If you want more information, you can actually, we have an entire beginner's pressure class that you can check out on our YouTube channel at Weiss Training Grounds. So just find us on YouTube and you guys should be able to find us. And once you do, there is a pressure class. It's actually pinned on the Weiss_training Twitter page. So if you guys want to find it, you can go to Twitter and you can find it there. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, guys, by the way, if you guys want updates for the streams, but regardless. Now, we want to root her pressure. Basically, the way her pressure works is wherever you stagger, you want to make sure you have a threat. So, if they mash here, or if they jump here, I have 2M, or I'm sorry, I have 5M, and 2M. 5L, you have 5LL. There we go. You have 5L. You can do... And of course, if they block the 2M, 5H, which naturally frame traps. You can also frame trap with your Ki Blasts, so keep that in mind. And this frame traps into Ki Blasts, so keep that in mind as well. Keep that in mind. Ooh. No, my timings are a little bit off because I play Star and Lag now. Beautiful frame trap right there. So she's very hard to disrespect. So here, off of 5L, I can 2M, and off of 2M, I can go back to 2L seamlessly. Or I can do 5M, which will beat mashing. And if I do... I can go back to 2L and reset to my light pressure. Very, very fun stuff. Now, what does she do for mix? What if my opponent just blocks everything? Well, you have a couple of ways you can do this, but basically, there is a core universal mechanic that Kefla takes advantage of more than anybody. We've talked about this before on the stream, but I'll give you a very, very powerful, potent demonstration now. This character's entire toolkit on block revolves around DR, which is why you need to stagger. Because if you always 5L DR, it's easy to tech, right? Chat, press 2 if you tech this, okay? Did you tech that DR? I want to see some 2s. If I see some 1s, that means you got hit, and that's kind of concerning. All right, I'm seeing some 2s, seeing some confident people, seeing some confident people that definitely tech that DR. Okay, assuming that there's no delay. Now, with Kefla, you can start getting a little bit creative because she buys so much respect. You can do stuff like that. Press 1 if you got hit. Yo, imagine teching that. Yasha didn't. No, I'm kidding. Last time I hit Yasha with that, he asked me if it was a car cancel. So... very powerful stuff. Very powerful stuff. And the reason why DR is important is because eventually they're going to start teching it, right? And now we're going to talk about mental stack. So what mental stack actually is the brain cannot maintain awareness of multiple options at the same time. The wider variety of options you have, the more susceptible you are to getting hit. This is important because if your opponent is looking out, like, have you ever been in a position where somebody IEDs you a lot and you're like, next time he IEDs, I'm gonna 2H, and then you see him leave the ground and you 2H, but then you get counter hit because it was 6M? Has that ever been you guys? Yo, Alonso, thank you for the resub. I definitely hyper-focus on one thing. That is very important. If you hyper-focus on one thing, it is very easy for her to manipulate. And the thing is DR is the hardest thing that she has to deal with. This is very important. This is very important because if your opponent does tech DR and they block 6M, they're going to look out for other options, which is when if I DR, if I do this, this is when this hits. So, for those of you that don't see this, it has a very similar timing to this. They actually hit almost on the same frame. 28, 30. Especially if you delay the DR. So that's 23. But if you dash, you add 4 frames, 19, okay. So, when you do 6H, your goal's not actually to hit your opponent sleeping. The biggest misconception is people are like, man, I want to hit people with 6H because if you block 6M, you can definitely block 6H. You don't understand what this tool is doing. 6H is a DR crush. Though you don't want people to not stand block 6H. You want to hear counter because they tried to tech it. That's what you want. So if your 6Hs are not landing, DR more. If they tech DR, start 6Hing. They will tech it. Guaranteed at least one person will tech it. I'm sorry, I mean, I'm not one person. Your opponent will tech it at least one time. And then they're going to be like, shit, and now they're not going to know what to look for. And then that's when things like this start happening, because this is another DR crush. Arguably, one of the best DR crushes in the game. If you do not block this, or if you block this, you are holding a 50-50. The only way to get out of it is to reflect. That is the only way to get out of this. If you mash, but mash too late, you're taking a huge risk. Not only that, but if you're not careful... Oh, why is it 5M? If you're not careful, you can get hit anyway, trying to tech it. So you need to be very, very, very careful with this, especially if she spaces herself out. If you block it, 50-50. True string. If you reflect it, you have a little bit more options. You might live. I'm minus 14. You could take your turn back if I don't call an assist here. I can't super dash. Actually, yes, I can. Oh my god. Why? Why can I do this? Wait, what if I do this? I actually never mess with this. It's been a while. It frame traps 2H! That's so fucked! Why does it frame trap 2H? I know it jails, but I didn't expect it to frame trap 2H, dog. Oh man, Kefla's stupid. Point is, if they don't know about... I didn't know about that. So if they don't know about that, they're just going to sit here and call an assist probably. So you're fine. However, you can reflect it. She's minus 14. You can try to take your turn back. You could try to reflect again. You know, bait on the reflect mind game. But be careful, obviously. 50-50 from Super Dash? Yes. Time to anti-air DP. Oh, what if she safe jumps it? I'm curious. Now you've got me... Okay, good. Good. Gogeta doesn't have to hold this. But it would be a dick move if I just did... Be a dick move if I just did, let's see. No corner time. Yeah, good. If you don't have an anti-air DP, though, rip. But how do you deal with Gogeta's doing this, right? You think Gogeta's safe. Well, it's a DR crush, which means... Oops. Which means... they lose to Graps. So, DR, the thing that they normally would try to do here, beats Reflect. Reflect is the only way they could realistically get out of 236H. You see the issue? It's a guess. And it's a fucked guess at that. Because now, 236H carries an enormous amount of risk, because you will get DP'd. Or, I'm sorry, you won't get DP'd. I'm not that you will get DP'd. You will get 50-50, is what I meant to say. So definitely keep that in mind. Definitely keep that in mind. So, Potent DR Crush, which you can do from anywhere, which hides for... Oop. I'm sorry. You do that, or... And all three of these have the same timing. They all feel the same, especially when you start factoring in your rhythm and you learn higher level pressure. This becomes really dangerous and very difficult to block. This is stupid. So, combine that with great pressure, you now have very powerful mix-ups that you can use. This is an incredibly potent thing. And what's even crazier is this is not the last of her DR crushes. Okay? So when you start pressuring people, you want to gauge their readiness for universal mechanics. Don't over-rely on DR, but if you can condition somebody to eventually start teching your DRs, they're going to become vulnerable to everything else. So, either two things are going to happen. Just DR people. If they tech it, they tech it. Then you can start using other things. If they don't, it's a free opening. And of course, be ambiguous, guys. Number one rule, always be ambiguous. ABA. Keep that in mind. So essentially, Kefla is just kickboxing you into her pressure, constantly abusing your reactions and defensive tools, and even more so your fear of her pressure itself. Basically, yes. But that's only as good as her threats, right? She does have one final DR crush, which is one of the most messed up ones. Oops, nope, not that. This. This is a fucked DR crush. Because, first of all, it's meant to be a DR crush. So, if they record, they do something like this, right? You cross their inputs. So the amount of people that are like, oh, I'm going to reflect because I see something coming, they just get hit. If you guys want to know how potent this is for my students, you know who hates this DR crush because they get hit by it? T. Underrated T. This is how I open him up with. Just do this. Especially from a place where you DR. You do a little... Oh my god. And what's funny is if they continue to block it, they weren't ready for that, so you get a mix. You also get a meaty DR. There you go. Ooh, you get some cute mix-ups, actually. By the way, this is why you shouldn't buff Zoom Zoom, because if it has less recovery, okay, I can start doing shit like this. You don't want this to have less recovery. Anyone else see that 4-way mix? Yep. It's fake, but possible. So you can do stuff like that if you're not careful. What's really annoying is that you can really abuse the respect, or you can do the traditional one. Fake cross up, which is nasty. You have a lot of options here. So not only do you guys see the 214S mix-ups, but 214S is not supposed to be the mix-up itself. 214S is the mix-up. It's not supposed to set up the mix-up by itself. You don't want to just randomly do this. Well, I guess you can, but it's a bit tricky. That's cursed, actually. Oh my god. Oh my god. I never experimented with this because I never needed it, but that's pretty cool. So there is a timing that lets me stay same side. But it's very important I know what side I'm on. Why is it that every time I lab this assist, I always end up with something cursed? I don't play Kefla and eval, so you don't have to worry. That's mean. I'm plus. Oh my god! It's a 50-50. Can't hide the... I'm sorry, Torg. We had our time in the sun. Yeah, you could reflect this. You could always reflect this. Never mind that I can just do that, by the way. You didn't see anything. You didn't see anything about what just happened, okay? You didn't see that key blast literally just hit the same side. What do I have to do to make what do I have to make to get your Kefla? You are getting my Kefla. This is literally a guide to my Kefla. Yeah, no, I forgot. Guys, quick. Kefla propaganda. She has no mix. All right? I want to see it on Twitter, guys. Kefla has no mix. Hashtag Kefla ain't got the mix. Okay? No. I would definitely help you with your strategies. You would definitely get my Beerus. This is just for general stuff, but not my Beerus, my Kefla. I'll give you my Kefla. Don't worry. Arxis isn't here. No, but people think people think. I need people to think she's good. It's fine. This assist, man. God, you just reminded me. Yo. Your hit's getting there. It's not super scary yet, but it is annoying. But when your hit is ready, I do not want to fight it. But yes, this is very, very, very important. So, where are her best stagger points? You should stagger from anywhere, okay? This is where the flowcharts that Torg makes kind of annoy me, because it will tell you not to stagger from 5M, which is her best stagger. Because let me ask you this. Why, if you're a smart opponent, and you don't have a frame 1 reversal, why would you ever mash on 5L? 5L has 5LL, 5M, 2M, it's got 5H, it's got specials. Why would you ever mash here other than to beat a DR, right? But here's the thing. If you see this long gap, and you know, because you're smart, and you check your frame data, you know 5M is -7. Just take your turn. If you see a long gap. Oh, oops. So, you can abuse the respect by doing this. And then you get the 2M. And that's how the 2M starts hitting. And by the way, guys, if 2M hits, because we don't need 5M on block... You get the idea. What I label a stagger. Yeah. You can reset on anything as long as you have. As long as you can reset on anything as long as you have a threat. The only reason you mash on 5M is you got reset and you're panic mashing. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. There's a lot of reasons to mash here. Oops. There's a lot of reasons to mash on 5M. Well, there's a lot of not reasons. There's a lot of incentive to mash on 5M because 5M is a very scary button. Resetting on 5H, you can do that as long as you have a Key Blast. If you know they have a Key Blast, they're waiting to see that Key Blast. Gogeta 4 would mash and win. You think so? I don't know if Gogeta would win. Oops. Would he win? I don't know about that. And, you know, he is a big body, which means... Free confirm. I missed my cancel window. But yeah, no, dead. Okay. So when I load up a match using Kefla Point, what is my mindset going into a fight with her, and how should I first approach my opponent with her brand of pressure and tools? Like a sort of Kefla homework in your terms. I will actually mention those strategies in a little bit. I'm going to mention that in its own section. So definitely stick around for that. And if you can't miss it, it's going to be in the the VOD, and it's going to be chaptered. So you'll be able to find a timestamp on YouTube. Yes. No. Please. Yes. Oh my god. You should not be able to cancel it. Just have it automatically follow up by holding it. I agree. Please change that about him. I hate Kefla. I hate Beerus' level 2. I really do. Gee, I don't know if Gogeta 4 mashing is really going to help him. Oh, but he's going to DP, right? Is he? Because that could easily just be... You have a lot of options here. So, no, Gogeta 4 would die to Kefla's pressure. And not only that, but Gogeta 4 inputting anything that isn't directly blocking is also risky because, like 21, she's got multiple lows. So Gogeta has to be very, very careful, because what if he just decides to do this while he's inputting 2-2? You must be careful. This character is a lot more dangerous than you think. But yes, this is the sort of things that you want to keep in mind. These are strategies that you could do for potent mix-ups. You can do stuff like this, which is very cool. Ooh. Thank you for the follow, Hysteria. I appreciate it. Let's see if I can... Ooh, that's nasty. DRs, baby. But yeah, little mix-ups like this. Very, very potent. And of course, you have your wider range of stuff. You can also do stuff like this, by the way. Yeah. Ooh. There we go. Oops, did it too early. I might... Oh, there you go. There you go. You can do stuff like that as well. There you go. That's nasty, actually. Doesn't the landing recovery fuck up hit confirms? Not really. So we'll do don't crouch, don't switch. Oops. Oh wait, why are you switching? Don't switch. Oops. Okay, chill, Beerus. They can, yeah. but more because it's pulling her away. Ooh. Here, not so much. You can also do that. Yeah, it can fuck up the hit confirm on the way back. Because it's only +7. So dashing up would be very, very difficult. So yeah. But the same side will hit. But they don't have to know that. She's like the basis of pressure in a game pushed to the max they can be. Yes. Her pressure is absurd. She has some of the best pressure in the game. Now, I can show you a little bit of a couple of tips and tricks and a little strategies that you guys can use if you feel like your opponent is overblocking. Number 1, 2H is powerful because people like to guard cancel and people like to challenge on 2H because a lot of people do this. Don't do this. Instead, do this. I don't know. It hit Wawa, to be fair. 5LL Mix did hit Wawa. Now, yeah, but honestly, just do this. They're not blocking this. Unless they're star, they're not blocking this. Let's have them stand. Stick to this. Yeah, just do this. It's fine. I also hit star with it, so... But yes. Anyway, my point being, there are some cool things that you can do. Zoom Zoom after 2H is very potent, but you can also frame trap into a low. This is very powerful because her 2H puts her airborne, as you can see. Very, very important. No, it was actually Wawa. Like, it was the real tournament Wawa. Like, it was Wawa. It was not Wo-Wo. It was Wawa. People like to press buttons, and they get frame trapped like that. So, don't be afraid to throw out a low, lay low after 2H. Super, super, super powerful confirm. Okay? So definitely keep that in mind, guys. Anyway, another thing that you can do, which is a really, really good matchup knowledge and matchup check, abuse her cross-ups. She has very, very powerful cross-ups on top of JH. Now, a pro tip, you must delay the JM. It is very important. It is very important to delay the JM. Keep that in mind. And your mileage may vary. Let's see. But yeah, basically with Kefla, your strategy is going to be stagger pressure, and you're going to use your assists to back you up. Don't be afraid to use your Ki Blast, and don't be afraid to play with your rhythm. With 5M, play with pushback. See? Play with the fact that people like to reflect Ki Blasts and go low. Basically, every single common response that people have to certain situations, Kefla has an answer for. People generally... This is to instigate the Reflect Mind game. Which makes this fucked, because that frame traps. So if they try to reflect... I might have to do this with a recording because the bot is a little bit too frame perfect. But basically, this will catch the reflect input. Like that. So if you see them, wow, if you see them blocking a lot, abuse their respect. Even if they reflect, oops, you can do that. And also, of course, you can use delay 6H to catch reflex. Delays. Yeah, so you can use 6H to catch reflex as well. This is a very potent stagger string, and of course, you can start messing with people's reactions because people get used to the 1, 2, 3, 4 that they stop looking out for. See? You can play with it like that. 5M, 5S is a very powerful tool, especially mid-screen to play with spacing. You can start messing with them. Like this. Very potent stuff. So definitely keep that in mind. And don't forget, you can also 5H. Do this. So definitely keep that in mind, guys. These are little strategies and tips and tools that you can use to basically augment your pressure. You don't want to rely on these too much, but she has such a wide variety of things that she can do that you might as well just go for it. So keep that in mind. All right. We're getting close to the last bit, so we're going to blitz through this. But the next round is going to be on Spark. So in Spark, she is very fucking scary. She is very scary. And one of the biggest mistakes I see is people not utilizing her in Spark. If you think Vegito is bad, try Vegito with a low 2L. You're gonna get some shit. And a lot of people don't even realize just how cursed she actually is, right? Oops. You guys see where this is going? You guys see how crazy this is? Oh, you block 6H? Cool. You block 6H? Cool. That shoestring? I should. Nope. That was a frame trap. Which is probably for the better, honestly. Now this is where this character gets nutty. Because she does have some potent stuff. You can really play around with your opponent's respect. And most people, and the thing that makes her incredibly dangerous in Spark, right guys? The thing that makes her incredibly dangerous in Spark, more than anything, is the fact that she has Ki Blasts. Oh, that's mean. You can't really reflect her because she can just cross up. And if you're not careful, you're holding a 50-50. Well, not a real 50-50, but it's a high-low, which is pretty potent because most people don't know what to expect in Spark. And then she can obviously do this stuff, which is annoying. Yeah. Don't do this to Zamasu, obviously. So, basically, how do we do this? Abuse the fact that you can jump cancel. And you can cancel the hit on anything. You're going to use cross-ups a lot. Stuff like that. This is nasty, by the way. See? And if you have an assist to convert that, that is gross. If you don't have an assist, you can empty vanish. This is gross. You also... You also get some pretty gnarly shenanigans. Now, what's cool... That's a 50-50. This is a 21 50-50. She has it, and most of it, I believe, true strings. That's a true string. And of course, if you block that, 50-50. Which is really nasty because she can 50-50 like that as well. This is very, very difficult to block. He also has done hit confirms with Birase, by the way, as you can see. Now, on hit, she does have some sparking loops mid-screen. I don't care, to be honest. I don't do them. I keep my B&Bs very, very simple, but there are a couple of things that do change in her combos that are universal. One change, which is pretty good, is her meter gain increases. You can do that off of basic confirms. So let's say you get like, whee! And you need some extra meter. Cool. And then do your thing. Okay? Another thing that she does have is you do want to learn this. As you can see, that is a metric fuck ton of damage. You can start. This is actually kind of fun. Oops. How many times can you play the smash sign in one combo? I have no idea. But it's like, it's a rhythm. Yeah, no, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. I learned that because it is a cornerstone to her COD, especially now that you can do this. Right? Big part of combo theory in Spark, doing stuff like that. So keep that in mind. Very, very, very good. That's pretty much all I do in Spark when on hit. I don't really do anything particularly interesting. You can learn the sparking loops. They should be in the Kefla chord. You can also probably hit up Uncle Viz for them. I don't care. They're pure sauce, and they're superfluous to me. I really don't care. I just do normal shit. But do utilize her in Spark on hit, please, because that is truly cursed. I kind of wonder, what if I do this? I have a cursed thought. What if I use Beerus A for this? Do I get Adult Gohan mix? Okay, no. Wait, maybe on GT Goku. Oh, wait. Nah. Fuck. They thought of everything, guys. Oh no, they thought of everything. That's mean, though. That's kind of mean, though. That's kind of mean. For those of you that don't know what I'm trying to do... Fuck, I didn't mark on Spark again. God damn it, I forgot the timestamp. I'm gonna say it's around 2:10. We'll figure it out. But if you guys are trying to figure out what I'm trying to do, stuff like that. I don't know if Beerus has enough pushback, actually. But high push block pushback assists, you can just slide in. I think you could probably do it on GT Goku, because Gogeta's a little bit tall. Nah. Nah. There we go. So I wonder if I just call it later. Hang on. No. Whatever. It's fine. I'll figure out a sparking mix-up later. But that's basically it. So, big thing. How does Kefla use assists? Or how do we use Kefla's assists? Because that's the one thing we haven't really talked about, right? So Kefla's assists are actually pretty potent. I'm glad I have Adult Gohan here. Glad I have an Adult Gohan here. So the way you use Kefla's assists is Kefla is basically 21A. It is very powerful, covers a large amount of space, has 30 frames of block stun now, which is different from the last time we covered her, which means that she is real and she sets up a lot more real mix-ups. And for characters like Adult Gohan, she has enough pushback, stuff like that. Oops. Level up, because I want more pushback. You can even do stuff like where Adult Gohan turns around. Like that. Pretty cool. If he's level 3. Oops. Stuff like that. Pretty potent. Coupled with the fast fall, it becomes very difficult to block. So this is an example of how Adult Gohan can use her assists. Beerus, for example, will use her assist for stuff like this. And on hit, the important thing is that it doesn't pop up very high. It does pop up a little bit, but not too high, and they usually come down to the ground first, which is very important. Because it does grant JDR if you're not careful. So Gohan would use it like Oops. Messed up the timing. Very simple conversion. Very simple conversion. Very nice. These are some strategies you can use her assist for. 21A needs. However, there is an important difference between 21A and 21A and Kefla A. This is very, very, very important. Kasuga mentioned this on Twitter, and he is 100% correct. But if you haven't heard it, we're going to go ahead and talk about it now. So, what does this mean? Well, full screen, they're identical. Literally identical. They hit at the exact same time. They overlap each other. But in the corner, see the difference? So if I do something like but he mashes a little bit too fast, so let's slow that down a little bit. Ah, right, he advances forward. Let's try Gogeta. There you go. So as you can see, Kefla appears further back, which gives us more defensive utility. Like this. She got hit there. This makes her harder to happy birthday, and it makes her more defensively useful. Reconfirm. They're telling me Kefla A is marginally better than 21A. Yes, because it's more useful. Because one of the most common places to mash is on an empty low. Especially if you see fast fall, just mash. So if I do this, and you mash, you're gonna get hit. This is a mix. Because I can also do that and delay it. However, if I do this, I actually might get happy birthday. Do they have the same hit stun? Yes, on paper. However, for whatever reason, Kefla has this weird thing where she has slightly more hit stun in very, very late combos than 21. Like, Kefla is actually the better assist in every way. It's slightly smaller, but who cares, to be honest. So that's how you would use that assist. Now, she does have another assist, like everyone, but it doesn't really exist. It is her B assist. Her B assist does not travel very far. It is 31 frames and 44 frames of block stun on hit, not quite 45 like other characters with similar B assists. It's definitely not at all Gohan B, which is a very silly assist. 45 frames of block stun, and look at that reach. Look at this reach. Meanwhile, yeah, not the best. So I wouldn't recommend it. And then there's her C assist. Look, the point I'm trying to tell you is just play the A assist. If you play any other assist with Kefla, you're high. Just go home. All right? You don't. No. Just stop. Stop. All right. How do we play and how do we build a team around Kefla? This is very, very, very important because Kefla is basically, I like to call a glue character. What that means is you can play them anywhere on a team and it doesn't matter. If we go to character selection, you can actually see a couple of things. So she is a great point. She moves forward, she has high damage, and she has high meter gain, which means, or she can two-touch at least, which means she's a quintessential point. She can develop your character. She has flexible DHCs, good DHC damage, which puts her anywhere on the team. I mostly play her on points in teams like this, where she can make use of their assists very, very easily. And your mentality with point Kefla should be as a character that continues and develops everyone behind her. In this particular team composition, for example, she's supposed to develop Beerus. And 21A, or 21 is just there for insurance policy. But basically, she's there to develop Beerus and make sure that there is enough meter to both debuff and get Beerus' level 3. She likes pop-up assists. No, she does not. She does not like pop-up assists. She prefers grounded. As long as it has enough hits done to combo into 6H. She doesn't mind pop-up assists, but she does not like them. The best assists for her combo routes are grounded ones. Because remember, she wants to be able to 2-3-6S at the end of her combo if she wants to double super. If you don't do that and you pop up too high, it's gonna whiff. Yeah, no, she likes grounded. She does not mind pop-up assists if she's 6Hing, but it is a little bit annoying for her. So this is my main team. How is base QA with her? I would not play them together, to be honest. Base QA doesn't really do anything particularly special for her, and Genki Dama is too hard to set up for her. Like, she has to completely change her combo structure to be able to Genki Dama. It's not worth it. However, if you want to play like Team Gohan, Kefla, base Q, you could get away with something like that, but I wouldn't do it. Now, this team is my main team, as you guys know. I don't know why it's normal Goku. That's actually kind of weird. It should definitely be purple Goku, but whatever. But yeah, this is my main team. And notice how Kefla's mid. I keep Kefla mid here because Blueku, in my opinion, is probably the strongest point in the game. And Beerus needs development. So both of these characters develop Beerus, and Blue Goku gets better synergy with Beerus than Kefla does. So basically, she's there as a secondary point. I will bring her out later in the match if Blueku's tired, and she will continue developing for my other characters. Not only that, but when she's on point, I have 2 high damage level 3s, both of them with 50/50s attached to them in the corner, that I can use to mess around with. So basically, Kefla can be played in any position. You can play her anchor, however, I do think it's a little bit of a waste. And I think it's a waste not because she can't play solo, she definitely can. But playing her anchor is a little bit of a waste because you're losing out on her meter gain. And she's going to develop your team for you. Let her come out on point. Let her develop that team. Let her come in and let her build meter for you, because that's her #1 goal. So in my opinion, in terms of preference, she should be point, mid, anchor. In that order. If you have a better point, go ahead and play her mid. But anchor, kind of avoid it. Use it if you need to tie in a wonky team at the end, but at that point, you know, if you really want that assist, just play 21. She has way too much competition on anchor, and like you don't want to use her for that. It's kind of needless. Your mentality when you're playing Kefla on point is you should be aggressive. Be aggressive, get in there. You don't want to rely on your key blasts because you haven't actually built any meter yet, and you haven't actually 2148. You don't have meter yet for 2148. So you need to move forward, use your assists, make sure you get the touch, and your #1 goal is to get them to block or hit them. If they hit, make sure you either carry them in the corner. If they're in the corner, build 2 bars. Once you get that, it begins to snowball. Gogeta Blue is the best point in the game. Gogeta Blue is the best point in the game because he does a lot of the things that Kefla does. He has higher damage. He has pretty much similar meter gain. The problem is he can't pressure on his own. So he has a serious weakness that Kefla lacks. And that's why, while I do think Gogeta Blue is a really good point, I do think Blue Goku is a far better and more stable point. Hi, Noel. Or Noel, I'm not sure. But yeah, that is basically how we are going to play these characters. Okay, so that's how we're going to play these characters. Can you teach me how to block? Sure, you're going to hold down back, and you're just going to hold that, and when you see somebody jump, you want to hold back instead of down back, and then when they land, you want to hold down again. Boom, free masterclass for you, my friend. But yeah, those are basic team building strategies with her. What's really good is that she's compatible with most of the cast. She can play with basically everyone in the cast. Not a lot of teams would not benefit from having Kefla on it. So definitely consider playing Kefla if you guys like what you saw here and you guys want to take advantage of her crazy tools and build a fun team for her. So that's going to be pretty much it. So solo Kefla strategies, very, very, very similar. It's going to be what happens when you don't have an assist. You're going to rely on 214H. You're going to rely on 214H. You have the meter if you're solo, so abuse it. If you have Spark, first of all, why didn't you save a character with it? But if you have Spark with Kefla, you guys saw how to pressure with her in Spark. I gave you some examples. But yeah. Can I say it one final time? Yeah, you can say fuck Kefla because she's really dumb. She seems like a pretty fun character. Definitely point. She's better mid if you have a correct point. Like, I love her assist. So if things go wrong and she dies in the point war, you lose a pretty good assist. There's a good argument for mid. But I do agree that point is definitely where to go. But I don't know about Kefla and Blue Gita synergy. They have great synergy together. Now, before I wrap up, guys, because I do have to make dinner, do you guys have any questions? Anything that you want to know about Kefla? Anything that I can answer? You know what, Ken? If you want me to play Kefla for evals, I'll do it. No, I want you to play a character that you like. Play characters that are comfortable. But yeah, no, you definitely, if you do play this team or this shell, be assist all the way. She prefers fast assists because then she can do this, right? Wow. Depends. Are you taking team building questions? If they're brief, I may not lab your team, but I'll be here for 10 minutes. So you guys have 10 minutes to answer a question, or to have me answer, or to ask me a question. What characters would you recommend for Adult Gohan? I'm gonna try to keep it related to the topic, so Kefla. But I would recommend Kefla for Adult Gohan. So Kefla Adult Gohan, very strong shell. I just need another character. That's why I suggested Base Coup. I wouldn't play Base Coup with her, to be honest. Next question. I wonder if there's a minor chance other characters could this be done for. Yeah, I'm probably going to update Blue Coup. Blue Coup definitely needs an update because Blue Coup had a lot of changes in Season 4. We're probably going to update the Videl guide. Videl's pretty much the same as she was before. But she's pretty much the same as she was before. But there's some neat stuff that you can do. But I may do an Adult Gohan one. Is Kefla, Gogeta 4, Janemba good? Yes. Give me some characters that would be good with Kefla and Zamasu. Any character that Zamasu likes, basically. So if I were to play that team, I would play Kefla, Zamasu, Beerus, because I'm a Beerus player. But if you want, you can pretty much do with any third, as long as the third's assist is one that Zamasu really likes. Make sure that the third isn't meter hungry, because then if Kefla dies, like if you play 21, for example, Zamasu begins to struggle. So do that. I would recommend Vegito for that shell. Vegito is actually quite good with that shell as well. Beerus player, you be balling. Yep. My current team is 18-point Adult Gohan mid and Trunks anchor. That's Shanks' old team, but with Trunks, I do not recommend it. That team is a struggle bus. What do you think of Bluku Kefla Frieza shell? Frieza is a big no-no for both of them, in my opinion. I definitely don't think you should play Frieza without a barrier. I know Frieza likes her A assist. I don't think Frieza... And Frieza can use Bluku, so it's fine. But Bluku Kefla is a very strong shell, so I would just pick a different third. That would be my suggestion. Gonna lab and sleep. Okay, cool. So I can use SSJ Gogeta. I assume you mean SSJ4? Yeah, SSJ4 Gogeta would be very strong to round out that shell. I would probably play Kefla Gogeta for Zamasu in that order. So do that. But yeah, I do think it's a very strong shell. What about Kefla A assist, Tien A assist, Android 21 A assist? That team shits damage, so that's pretty good. The only problem is Tien and 21 compete. They both really like bar, so I would say pick one. But if you do want to play it, you're fine. That Gohan would be for you, perhaps? Okay. No, I would make Adult Gohan because I love Adult Gohan. But I'm not confident enough in my Adult Gohan to truly talk about him. I don't... If I'm going to be pretentious for a little bit, I would say I'm a Kefla master. Some of my students, I don't, but some of my students have called me the best Kefla in the world. I don't necessarily care or agree, but make of that what you will. The point is I have a lot of knowledge on this character. I understand her like the back of my hand. Adult Gohan, I'm very good with Adult Gohan, and I love him, and I have some strategies that are unique with him. However, I would not call myself an Adult Gohan master yet. I noticed I didn't mention Bubble. She does not need Bubble. There you go. That's the only word I'll say about it. You will not get my Adult Gohan pressure for a while. It'll be very long before you can get it. It is not easy. And nothing felt quite right. Yeah. Don't try it, because there's a lot of stuff that, like... There's at least 5 master classes we need to go over before I can start talking about Adult Gohan's pressure. And that's not an exaggeration. There's a lot there. If you could put this character into a single sentence to help people understand what she is, what would it be? She's an amazing point with very strong damage and high meter gain, and she's extremely fun if you know how to pressure, and she'll allow you to flex your fundamentals. So give her a chance. I hate this assist. I hate Blue Vegeta. I never thought I would find an assist that Kefla hates. It's actually kind of funny. She's Bardock 2.0. She's not quite like Bardock. That's actually a misconception. She's Bardock in the sense that she expresses the fundamentals of the game extremely well. So with very strong she's very easy for beginners to pick up, but if you're very, very good at the game, she'll allow your fundamentals to shine. However, she's not quite like Bardock. They have a completely different game plan. Nice TOD. It's easy, but sure. Thoughts on Bluku, Kefla, Majin 21 team? Extremely strong. Extremely strong, but the DHC damage is a little bit low, so make sure you optimize your combos. I never talked about her level 3. Her level 3 hits full screen, by the way. I never felt like that needed to be mentioned. I never talked about her level 3 Oki. Oh, I forgot to include her Oki. Shit. All right, real quick. Oki. Okay? She has very, very powerful tools for Oki. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to call this section Ken Forgot Oki. And we're going to do 257. That's going to be the... So I'm going to do Oki real quick, okay? She gets really good Oki off 236S. You have two ways of Oki. This and this. Oops. Let's see. That. So you have dash, meaty, JM, or you have neutral jump, JH. Here's why it's important. This is the most flexible Oki because, first of all, they cannot dash under. They cannot dash under. So you can't dash out like you could with normal IEDs. Very, very important. What's really cool about this as well, like Star and I have talked about it before. Why? You can also bait reflect with it, which is very powerful. Because you can do this. Which looks very similar to this. See the difference? Very, very powerful stuff. I definitely recommend using this. This is my go-to Oki on SKD. If I have an assist, I'll go for the dash jump because if they block the assist, I'm in a 50-50. So very, very, very simple. Very simple stuff that I like to do. If they delay tech, I will keep an assist usually to cover the delay tech. I would not try 5M'ing. So, yeah, there's that. If they have one bar and you want to slow down the development, like if they have 21 on the other team, something that you can do is... This covers every tech. And you can do it on reaction to their wake up. You can do it on reaction to their wake up as well. So if I put their wake up on random, I can just do this. And if you have a high blocks and assist, you get a 50-50. Is it the same knockdown as JH and DR? Can you not buffer backdash and hold forward jump? Yes, you can. But I prefer neutral jump. You can do stuff like that. It does have less frame advantage, so I personally prefer this. There's a lot more flexibility here because this also safe jumps TPs. That's a free guard cancel though. That's the point. Like I mentioned, if they have one bar or they have two bars and you want to deny them some bar and you don't mind playing neutral, you can force a character out with this because just because they can guard cancel doesn't mean it's in their best interest. Guard canceling costs a bar, it locks out your assists, and now you're dealing with a Kefla potentially with an assist up because she wouldn't be doing that if she doesn't have an assist. Good luck keeping her out. After she just probably built 2 bars, most likely. If you're in that situation, go ahead and guard cancel. I don't care. I'm just going to call my assist and I'm going to win neutral again. And this time I'm going to damage a brand new character. Also, if you get the touch because you guard canceled, you're not going to be able to DHC into that 21 level 3 because that 21 level 3 requires 3 bars and you just spent one of the 2 that you were going to... You just spent like one of the 3 that you were going to have on guard canceling in the first place. So it's a very good strategy to bait out a guard cancel, and you are meter positive. It is a meterless way to do this. You get nothing from it. In fact, you actually get meter for it, as you can see. So if they guard cancel it, you're out. Whatever. That's an interesting strategy that you guys can have. Ray Zone. Here's a tip about Ray Zone. This is very, very important. Ray Zone costs a bar. And if you do it immediately, delay wake up completely beats it. Almost. You can see there's 30 frames of block stun, but that can kind of wait it out. So something that I like to do is I like to slightly delay it. Usually with the dash sometimes. Or I just time it. Now, even with full delay tech, notice how much more of the Ray Zone actually hit. Oops, didn't mean to do that. A lot more flexible. So make sure to slightly delay your Ray Zone if you're going to do Ray Zone. Now, as we said before, if they reflect it, you can still get the 50-50. For example, if they reflect mash, say they do this. You're safe. Even if you do the 50-50, you're safe. And if you're not careful, you can counter hit them. They have to reflect again. Why is that dangerous? Well, because if they bank on another delay tech, or if they bank on another reflect, like if they double reflect, they're susceptible to DR, or even better. Yeah, you don't want to use it because it is quite expensive. Oops, I messed up. You probably don't need to do this, actually. I could just do this. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Why I don't have meter? I'm stupid. Boom. The 50-50 still counter hits the mash. You kind of have to reflect this. So definitely keep that in mind. Yeah, there you go. So that's how you want to do Ray Zone. It doesn't matter if they can't see it. If they reflect again, you can always anti-reflect. Oh, wait. Yeah. You can always anti-reflect. You can always do that. I don't know why he's not reflecting, actually. It's kind of weird. Whatever. I Ray Zone, zoom behind them, and then mix. That might have been weird. I'm not sure what's going on with the bot, but point is, it doesn't matter if they can't see it. Usually their best bet, if you're blocking Ray Zone, is to bank on another reflect and play the reflect mine game. So just be careful, but, you know, if you don't get mixed, like, it's always better to reflect Ray Zone. Even if Ray Zone, if you don't get out of the Ray Zone and she still takes her turn, that's fine. You don't want her to 50-50 you. If you reflect, the 50-50 is now negated because you can just reflect the 50-50, which means she has to anti-reflect, which is fine, but you'll just continue blocking and it's fine. She takes her turn, but she just wasted meter for no reason. So it's perfectly okay to allow her to raise zone. Always delay tech and always reflect it. That is the best way to deal with it. However, if you are not careful, remember that she can DR you. So if you try to mash, if you try to mess around, if you try to reflect again, she has ways of killing you. So just be very, very careful around her. The reflect may not be frame 1. It's probably not. But if it's not frame 1, your reflect is probably not frame 1. And I find that a little bit more of a better metric because human beings are human beings and they make mistakes. It works on them SSJ blue players. I'd be fighting. Yeah. I raise zone, zoom, and then mix. I only do that on up tech. If they up tech raise zone, which is, thank you for reminding me. They up tech raise zone. They have no options. Why? Ah, because it's a ground cover. How does raise zone deal with raw tag in your opinion? Fine, I guess. They can reflect tag, but like I said, it's very risky to reflect tag against this character. Because if she knows that you want a raw tag, and she baits it, and you eat a 2H, you're dead. Oops. So definitely keep that in mind. I forgot to do raise zone, because my brain is overloading and it's been 3 hours. I'm very tired. I haven't made dinner yet, which is kind of absurd. Yeah, stuff like that. Very, very gross. Keep that in mind. But that's going to be it for how to deal with Kefla. Keep her Oki very simple. She's very, very, very strong, very universal. Make sure to bait your opponent's reactions. I'm going to go ahead and grab a bite, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to catch us live on Twitch. We stream Monday through Friday, or actually Monday through Saturday. Check out our update video because that's going to have our full stream schedule. Normally Mondays are our master classes, so if you want to join in and ask us questions and be a part of the community, make sure you consider watching us live if you can manage it. Otherwise, hi YouTube. I hope you guys enjoy everything. If you guys like what you see here and you want to be part of our wonderful community, don't forget to subscribe. It gives you access to the Discord channel where you guys can play other like-minded subs that are trying to play high-level games as well and learning high level. You can find somebody your skill level, and everyone is incredibly, incredibly beautiful. They're really lovely people. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful community. So please go ahead and consider subscribing so that way you get access to that community. If you guys become a tier 2 or tier 3, you get training directly from me and Star. So if you guys want training from us, make sure to join us. We also plan more community events, so we're probably going to have movie nights and stuff coming up. So if you guys want to hang out with us, you definitely can. And last but not least, if you guys don't want to subscribe but you still want to monetarily support the channel and still get access to the subscribing to the Discord, consider financially supporting us through donations. It is the best way to support the channel, guys, and it really does help us out. We appreciate every dollar that comes our way. We love you guys tremendously, and that's what helps keep us doing this, so that way we can afford to take the time off work necessary to plan all this. But thank you guys so much for joining me, and I hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Good night, guys. Good night, stream, and good night, YouTube.